Good afternoon to all the students. I am Dr. Hima Bindu from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and I'll be dealing the subject Robotics in Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. My today's topic is Definition and Terminology in Module 1. And the Module 1 is about the Introduction to Automation and Robotics. Firstly, coming to the first definition, define automation. What do we mean by the word automation? Automation is nothing but the technology which is used to process or procedure is accomplished without any particular human assistant. Right? That is known as the automation. That is any work which is done automatically. That is known as automation. So here we can use robot as an automation where the work can be done automatically without any form of constraint. That is, without any human assistance, the work can be done by giving some particular programming to the robot. Right? When we are giving any form of programming to the robot, that particular robot will be acting in a step-by-step procedure which will do its work automatically. The technology which is processing or the procedure which is used without any human assistance is known as automation. Right? Next, moving on to the next one, define fixed automation. What do we mean by fixed automation? Right? Fixed automation is something here where the fixed automation is a system in which the sequence of processing operations is fixed. Here we will be having the steps, right? Operation 1, Operation 2, Operation 3 or Operation 4. Right? So here we will be having a sequence of operations. So in this particular sequence of operations which are fixed is known as the fixed automation. Right? With the help of the equipment configuration. Right? The fixed automation is a system in which the sequence of processing operations is fixed by the equipment configuration is known as fixed automation. Now here, each of the operation in this particular sequence is usually simple or involving a rotational motion. In this particular sequence of operation, it is usually simple type of the operation or the operations which involve the plane linear or the rotational motion, or it can also be a combination of two, or it also can be a combination of two. That is, it can be a linear or well as well rotational, right? Linear or rotational. It can also be the combination of both linear as well as rotational, right? So what do we mean by fixed automation? Fixed automation is a system in which the sequence of processing operation is fixed by the equipment configuration. That is, this particular sequence cannot be changed, right? Where each of the operation is usually simple, involving a plane, linear or a rotational motion, or an uncomplicated combination of the two. Next, what is programmable automation? Here we have seen fixed automation. What is a fixed automation? What is a programmable automation? And what is a flexible automation? Programmable automation means what? When we are giving any sort of program to that particular robot, right? It has a capability to change the sequence of operation, right? Any particular robot which has the capability of changing the sequence of operation. That is, here when we have 1, 2, 3 and 4, This is a fixed automation. When there is a capability of changing the sequence of operation, first 1 and then 3 and then 2 and then 4, this is known as a programmable automation. That is, in programmable automation, the production equipment is designed in such a way that it can change the sequence of operation to accommodate different product configuration. This can be done to accommodate different product configuration. Right? The operation sequence is controlled by a program, which is a set of instructions coded so that they can be used and interpreted by the system. That is, the operation sequence will be controlled by a program, which is a set of instructions coded so that they can be ready and interpreted by the system. Right? Next, define flexible automation. What do we mean by flexible automation? Flexible automation means what? Which is flexible in itself. That is, it is an extension of a programmable automation. Right? The extension of a programmable automation is known as a fixed automation. So here, a flexible automation system has a capability of producing a variety of products with virtually no time lost by changing over from one part system to the next. That is, when we are doing this first operation, automatically it can shift to the second automation. Then again it can shift to the third operation. And then automatically it can shift to the fourth operation. That is, which is having flexibility in programming. Right? Any sort of operation which is having flexibility in the programming is called as flexible automation. So this particular flexibility will help in reducing the time consumption, producing large number of products in the large scale industries, and there is also no lost production time. That is, when the time is not lagging, that is, it doesn't take much time for changing its particular sequence of operation. Right? That is, it is flexible, where the machine automatically runs a particular operation depending upon the flexibility being given to the robot. Right? That is known as the flexible automation. That is, a flexible automation is an extension of a programmable automation, where a flexible automation system is capable of producing a variety of the products within virtue of no time to lose of changeover to the next time. Next one, define the term robot. What do we mean by robot? Robot is nothing but a structure which has been created to reduce the labor cost and to reduce the time consumption in the large scale industries, in order to have a quick production, in order to have a quick quality products to be obtained in a large scale industry, and to reduce the labor cost, we have been introduced a robot. So it is a programmable multifunctional manipulator. A robot is a programmable multifunctional manipulator which is being designed to move material from one place to the other, or specialized devices through variable programming motion for the performance of a variety of tasks. Right? That is known as a robot. That is a programmable multifunctional manipulator which is being designed to move the parts from one place to the other through a variable programming motion. Right? That is known as a robot. Define articulated robot. What do we mean by articulated robot? Yes, most of them have no idea. What is an articulated robot? Right? An articulated robot is defined as a robot with rotary joints, where these particular robots can range from simple two-joint structure to within 10 or more interacted joints. That is, it can start from 2 joints and it can end up till more than 10 joints. right? So those particular type of the robots which have n number of joints which interacting, that is which have more than 10 interacting joints, those particular type of the robots are called as articulated robot, right? An articulated robot are something which have rotary joints, and these particular robots can range from simple two jointed structures to the systems with more than 10 or more than that having interacting joints. That is known as an articulated robot. Next, define anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism. So what do we mean by anthropomorphism? So this particular phenomena is used to describe the human tendency, right? This is one of the phenomenon which describes the tendency of the human to see human-like shapes in the environment, right? When we need to see the shapes same as that of the human in the environment, then this particular phenomena is to be used in the robot. That is, when we are not using this sort of phenomena in the robot, it cannot identify the shapes in the environment as a human is doing. So generally, it is something, this particular phenomenon when it is added to the robot, it can identify the objects which a human can do in the environment. Next, what is humanoid robot? Humanoid robot means what? As we all know, humanoid robot is nothing but a robot which is used to, which is designed, which resembles like a human body and does the work same like a human. For example, generally nowadays we are using this particular type of humanoid robot in household applications, or we are using in medical fields like in hospitals for surgeries and all, right? Or it is used in agriculture fields, where this particular sort of the robot is doing pest control or spraying the pest control on the agriculture fields, or some of the robots are assisting in the surgeries like a doctor, or some of the robots are used as a human body where it is doing all the household needs, chores, right? So that is known as a humanoid robot. So humanoid robot is a robot which with its body which is being shaped same as a human body. Now this particular design is used for functional purpose such as interacting with the human tool and environment, for or it is used for the study of bipedal locomotion or for other purposes as I've told you. So when we are using any robot which has been structured in the frame of in the shape of a human, that is known as a human, and which does all the work same as that of the human is known as a humanoid robot. What is PTP control robot? What do we mean by PTP control robot? PTP control is nothing but point-to-point control robot. That is, any particular robot which is having control on each and every point, starting from initial stage to the end point, where the robot is handling the material handling process. It should have a control on its movement. It should have a control on its memory. It should have a control on its memory device, storage device. So the robot which is having a point-to-point control on the capability of moving from one point to the another point, or in order to locationize are recorded in the control memory, is known as the PTP control robot. That is a point-to-point control robot. Next, define CP control robot. What do we mean by the term CP? It is a continuous path. That is, any particular robot where the program is given, where the robot has to do a continuous operation. That particular form of the robot is known as a controlled continuous path control robot, where this particular robot stop at any specified point along the controlled path. That is, with continuous path control, the robot can stop at any specified point along the controlled path. Such particular type of the robot is called as a continuous path controlled robot. Next, define controlled path robot. What do we mean by controlled path robot? Controlled path robot means it is a robot which controls the equipments, right, which can generate path of different geometry such as straight lines or circles or interpolated curves, right, or interpolated curves with a high degree of accuracy. With a high degree of accuracy, right? Any particular robot which is having high degree of accuracy and which can have a control on the equipment such as its geometry such as straight lines, circles or interpolated curves, that particular type of the robot is called as a controlled path robot, right? Next, what do we mean by the term controller? Controller means what? Controller is nothing like, it acts like a human brain. Controller is much like a human brain. That is, a controller coordinates the muscles and all other parts of the body. Right? A controller coordinates the muscles as well as all other parts of the body. Same like the brain of the human being. That is, as we get signals from the brain, like when to move, how to move, and which location we need to move our hand, or at which possible requirement we need to move our leg, or whatever it is. So in the same way, here a controller acts as a human brain in the robot, with the help of which we get signals to the robot joints or the links. Right? So this particular controller keeps the track of the time, the position of the joints, and the movement of the manipulator. Right? This particular controller keeps the track of the time, the position of the joints, and the movement of the manipulator. When either of this is not there, can we have a control on the robot? No. Until and unless we have a complete control on the robot cannot do its work most effectively. Right? So, having control on the robot is very important. Now, it is used to program, and with a list of instructions. The instructions are stored in the memory of the unit controller. Right? As we are giving instructions to that particular robot, the controller will be acting accordingly. Right? As it will store its memory, it will store in its memory. The controller will store its memory in it, and it will be acting according to the requirement whenever required. What do we mean by manipulator? Manipulator means what? It is nothing but the base, arm or the gripper. Right? A manipulator is something which is the manipulator in the present cases is the entire mechanism of the robot that provides movement of any degree of freedom. That is, for example, we have a fixed link, right? Right, this is link 1, link 2, link 3, joint 1, joint 2, and this is the end effector. Right? This is the base. So here all these are called as the manipulators. All these links are called as the manipulators. Right? That is, a manipulator is something in the robot which is making some movement with some degree of freedom. Right, which consists of a base, which consists of an arm, and which consists of a gripper. Right? The manipulator consists of a base, it consists of an arm, and it consists of a gripper. That is, a manipulator in the present case is the entire mechanism. It is the entire mechanism of the robot that provides movement of any degree of freedom. Therefore, it consists of base, arm, and gripper. Right? Next, define gripper. What do we mean by the term gripper? What is a gripper? The gripper is nothing but the end effector here. Right? Near the end effector, we can place different types of grippers. It may be a magnetic gripper, or it may be a vacuum type of the gripper, or it can be a generalized gripper. Right? A gripper means what? It is something which is used to hold the objects. Right? A gripper is similar to that of the human hand. As the human hand, right? As the human hand, this is the human hand, right? As the human hand is used to hold the object, in the same way, the robot's end effector is also used to hold the objects. Right. So in gripper we have different types of grippers: magnetic gripper, vacuum type of the gripper, and the generalized gripper which acts like a finger. Magnetic gripper means what? Which is having a magnetic field, and with the help of the magnetic action, it is picking and placing the object in the different locations. Vacuum type means suction type. With the help of the suction, it is moving the objects. Generalized means it acts as a human fingers. That is known as generalized gripper. So here, the hand grasps the tools to perform the work, as I've told you. The hand is used to perform the task, like it is used for holding the object in this form. In the same way, in the robot, the gripper is used to hold the objects, that is the workpieces, while the operation is going on, is being performed. While the operation is being performed, the gripper is used to hold the workpieces, and the shape of the gripper is determined by the task it has to be performed. Right? The shape of the gripper depends upon the type of the application, when we are using in the medical fields, generally we go for vacuum type of the gripper. Right? In the medical sector, we go for vacuum type of the gripper. Or when we come across the industries, mechanical industries, there we use the magnetic type of the gripper, or we go for the generalized gripper condition. So depending upon the type of the application, we use this particular type of the gripper. Right? So these are the differences which have gone through. So in today's class, we have seen about the gripper, the manipulator, what do we mean by a controller, what do we mean by controlled path robot, and what is a continuous path robot, and what do we mean by a point-to-point control robot, and what is a humanoid robot, what are the examples of humanoid robot, what do we mean by the phenomena of anthropomorphy, and what do we mean by articulated robo? What exactly is the term robo means? What is the difference between a flexible automation, programmable automation, and a fixed automation? And we have seen the definition of automation, what exactly automation means. Right? So these are the definitions and terminologies from the module 1, which is the introduction to automation and robotics. Right? Hope you have understood today's session. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.